This is the English service of Radio Algeria International. It's time for the news.
Algerian Prime Minister Sefi Gharieb has chaired in Algiers the opening of the national seminar entitled Legal Security and Its Impact on Economic Development. The event is held under the high patronage of the President of the Republic, Mr. Abdelmajid Tebboune. The African Union Commission has rejected any recognition of Somaliland and reaffirmed the AU's unwavering commitment to the unity and sovereignty of Somalia. And the Israeli army carried out several new bombardments on various parts of the Gaza Strip, causing extensive damage. Those were the headlines, and now the news in detail from Radio Algeria International. First in our news, the President of the Republic, Mr. Abdelmajid Tebboune, has offered his deepest condolences following the death of Mujahid Mohammed Saeed Nait Abdelaziz, Honorary President of the Algerian Economic Renewal Council. In his condolence message, the President expressed the profound sadness and sorrow with which he received the news of the passing away of the late Mujahid Mohammed Saeed Nait Abdelaziz, Honorary President of the Algerian Economic Council, Renewal Council, adding that the deceased was one of the most important and prominent national figures in the field of the national economy, in addition to his active contribution to trade union and media activities related to economic reform and improving the investment climate in Algeria. The President concluded his message by offering his sincere condolences to the deceased family and to the representatives of employers and trade unions, praying to Almighty Allah to grant him His abundant mercy, welcome him in His paradise, and grant his family patience and forbearance. Prime Minister Sefi Gharieb has chaired at the Abdeltaif Rahal International Conference Center here in Algiers the opening of the national seminar entitled Legal Security and Its Impact on Economic Development, held under the high patronage of the President of the Republic, Mr. Abdelmajid Tebboune. The seminar addresses legal security as a concept, both in terms of the legislative framework and its practical implementation, as well as mechanisms to strengthen the safeguarding of management processes, given their direct impact on improving the business climate and stimulating economic development. The opening ceremony was attended by the Speaker of the Council of the Nation, Azzouz Nasri, the President of the Constitutional Court, Leila Aslawi, the Minister of Justice, Lotfi Boujem'a, members of government, the advisor to the President of the Republic in charge of legal and judicial affairs, Mohammed Hamouche, and the advisor to the President in charge of finance, banking, the budget, foreign exchange reserves, public procurement, and international payments, Farid Yaisi. In addition to the representatives of several national bodies and institutions, as well as more than 100 or 1,500 participants, including senior officials, specialists, and professionals from the legal and economic field. This seminar reflects the vision of President Abdelmajid Tebboune and the special attention he pays to economic operators as a fundamental pillar of the legislative and economic reforms he has initiated, notably by ensuring the protection of managers through a clear distinction between the management error and corruption. In this regard, the 2020 Constitution enshrined the principle of legal security and strengthened guarantees related to freedom of trade, investment, and entrepreneurship. Let's listen to Sefi Gharieb.
In addition to the constitutional enshrinement of the freedom of trade, investment, and entrepreneurship, the principle of national security and the profound legislative reforms ordered by the President of the Republic, which have been effectively implemented, particularly through the review of the legal and institutional framework for investment, the exploitation and valuation of economic real estate, the reform of the banking system, and the public procurement law. The President has placed the manager at the heart of his concerns as one of the most important pillars of development. From the outset, he ordered the decriminalization of management practices and explicitly emphasized in his program the necessity of enshrining a policy of protecting honest state officials engaged in management. This sound vision aims to make Algeria a model in linking knowledge, innovation, law and development, and to eliminate all disparities between the public and private sectors.
You are listening to Prime Minister Sefi Gharieb. Legal experts and economic stakeholders taking part in this Taking part in this seminar discussed the Protection of Management Acts and their impact on economic development, as well as legal security in the business environment. The African Union Commission has formally rejected any move to recognize Somaliland as an independent state, reaffirming its unwavering commitment to the unity, sovereignty, and territorial integrity of Somalia. In a statement released on recent developments concerning Somaliland, the African Union said the chairperson of the Commission, Mahmoud Ali Yusuf, has taken with deep concern the recent developments relating to Somaliland. The Commission emphasized that it firmly rejects any initiative or action aimed at recognizing Somaliland as an independent entity, recalling that Somaliland remains an integral part of the Federal Republic of Somalia. The statement warned that any attempt to undermine Somali's unity, sovereignty, and territorial integrity contradicts the core principles of the African Union and could set a dangerous precedent with far-reaching consequences for peace and stability across the continent. The African Union further reiterated its full support for the Somali authorities, reaffirming its commitment to Somalia's unity and backing ongoing efforts to consolidate peace, strengthen state institutions, and promote inclusive governance. And back to Algeria, where Agour Mhenni, the son of Farhat Mhenni, leader of the so-called MAC movement terrorist organization, has publicly declared that he opposes his father's project, stressing his commitment to Algeria's national unity and his determination to restore his family's honor, recalling its active role during the War of National Liberation. Speaking in an interview with national television, Agour Mhenni said that he had decided to take the step to restore the honor of his revolutionary family and contribute to his country's national unity. Let's listen to it.
Aujourd'hui, je franchis le pas.
Today I decided to cross the line without any personal necessity. It is a way for me to clean my honor with regard to everything that is happening, to restore the honor of my family, who are completely not involved in all of this, and also a way for me to contribute to the national unity of my country.
À l'unité nationale de mon pays.
Openly expressing his firm opposition to his father's project and disavowing his position, Agour Mhenni emphasized that although the leader of the terrorist movement remains his father, he has endured through his entire life his ideas and decisions, which have always had an impact on his life and those of his siblings, while expressing his pride in his family's patriotic history, both men and women, during the War of National Liberation.
Ma mère m'a beaucoup parlé de l'histoire de son...
My mother talked to me a lot about her father's history. She even told me about the role my grandmothers played during the War of Liberation. My grandmothers themselves told me about it, but I was so young that I only have vague memories. But my mother reminded me of it a lot as I grew up. For me, they are heroes. They played a very active role in the Algerian War, and so did my grandmothers. My father has his ideas. My father is my father, but I don't think like him, and he doesn't think like me. So he has his ideas and I have mine. Throughout my life, I've been subjected to his ideas and his decisions that have always had an impact on my life and on those of my brothers and sisters. And today I feel that I too need to become independent in my ideas. I need to express them. I need not to be associated with all the decisions taken by my father.
C'est à tout ce que mon père prend comme décision.
So Agour Mhenni underlined that the Algerian people is one, adding that when he went to the Kabylie region, he used to receive friends from all parts of the country at his home, and that he never felt any difference between the sons of Algeria. To travel back in time and learn about the most prominent events that mark. And shifting now to the Middle East, where new bombardments have been carried out by the Israeli army against various parts of the Gaza Strip. The news agency Wafa stressed that the western coast of Gaza was targeted by the Israeli warplanes and several buildings were demolished in various districts of the city. The central area of the enclave, including the refugee camps of Maghazi and Nusayrat, as well as the eastern part of the southern town of Khan Yunis, were also hit by the Israeli bombardments. The Israeli attacks were in violation of the ceasefire, including concluded last October. Since then, more than 400 Palestinians have been killed and hundreds of others wounded. This came as the health authorities in the Gaza Strip warned against a serious crisis likely to paralyze the enclave's whole medical services on account of an acute shortage of medical supplies. Over 70% of medical supplies of the Strip's hospitals have run out as the delivery of humanitarian aid has stopped. Local sources say that more than 20,000 patients and wounded, including 4,500 children, were prevented from receiving their treatment outside Gaza as they remain blocked at the enclave's crossing point. Meanwhile, the Israeli occupying army today closed the entries into the villages and towns of the northern and western parts of the West Bank town of Ramallah. Local sources were quoted by Wafa saying that the measures had prevented the Palestinians' movements. In Lebanon, 3 people have been killed in airstrikes carried out by the Israeli army against areas in the northern and southern parts of the country. The strikes are in violation of the ceasefire enforced last year. Syria's foreign ministry has denounced yesterday's bomb attack inside a mosque in the central town of Homs as a desperate attempt to sow chaos and destabilize the country. It assured that those behind the attack that claimed 8 lives would be punished and denounced it as it put it, a blatant violation of humanitarian and moral values. In this connection, the Syrian foreign ministry reiterated his firm commitment to continuing fighting terrorism in all its forms, stressing that such action will not undermine the Syrian state's determination to reinforce security and protect the citizens. Thailand and Cambodia have signed a joint declaration on a ceasefire to end several weeks of fierce clashes along with their common borders. The declaration was signed by the defense ministries of the 2 countries during the 3rd meeting of the General Border Committee held at a checkpoint in the Thai province of Chanthaburi. Addressing a press conference, the Thai defense minister pointed out that the declaration's key points include the maintaining of troops or patrols and the monitoring of the ceasefire during 72 hours. And the UN said it hoped the ceasefire concluded today between Thailand and Cambodia would pave the way for a reinforcement of peace and confidence between the 2 countries. In a message posted on social media, the UN High Commissioner for Refugees, Volker Turk, expressed satisfaction at the conclusion of the ceasefire, underlining that the communities and migrants affected by the conflict will receive the necessary assistance to return home safely. And local media in the Democratic Republic of the Congo has reported new clashes in the Uvira region. Residents told the press that they saw an aircraft bombing the middle of the port of Kalundu, while others reported hearing explosions and gunfire on Kavimvira Hill, while fighting was raging between pro-Kinshasa forces and the M23 armed group. And finally, the Algerian national team return to action tomorrow at the Africa Cup of Nations, taken on Burkina Faso in their second Group E fixture, with kickoff scheduled for 6:30 p.m. After a convincing opening win, the Algerian national team will be looking to maintain their momentum, secure another positive result, and take a significant step toward qualification for the knockout stage. With this, we come to the end of this news bulletin. Time now for our weekly programs. We'll meet you again tomorrow for another edition. Thank you. To travel back in time and learn about the most prominent events that mark